What's up, y'all? And welcome to the Riverside Sanctuary. I'm Rakeem Rivers, aka Rakeem the Revolutionary, and today we're going to be talking about the mosaic of humanity's struggle for liberty and justice for all. Alright, so according to Google, liberty is defined as the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. Liberty is most often associated with the concept of being free within a society. And within our society, we can see plenty of limitations to this liberty. Not just government controlled or contrived, but actually like on a day-to-day basis. Like you could see people's liberty being taken away from them in choices such as who they love, who they marry, their religious beliefs, and so forth. Right? Liberty is the belief within humans that we can decide our own fates. We can live our own lives, free of restrictions from anybody else's ideas or beliefs and so forth. And liberty has, of course, been something that humans have been fighting for since authority, pretty much since like one person tried to tell somebody else what to do and they said no. There's been a fight for freedom. Justice is defined by Google as just behavior or treatment. And the second definition is a judge or magistrate, in particular a judge of the Supreme Court of a country or state. So justice, um, unlike liberty, liberty is easy to understand because everybody wants freedom. You know what I mean? And justice, on the other hand, is kind of one of those things that it changes depending on the culture, depending on the society, depending on the situation, and so forth. Like what is considered just is hard to pin down. But the fact that it says a judge or magistrate as a person, you understand, like in some situations, justice in and of itself can be personified. And I feel like that personification of the idea of justice is something that we have to take on as human beings, like as people who live within a world where there is crime and there's injustice happening all over the place, and the powers that be aren't actually addressing these issues. It needs to be us who are um, creating the justice we need, you know, and that's our responsibility to our communities, to our people, to our families, to our loved ones, to our future generations. Is us who has to fight for justice, continue to fight for it. And those two are basically the foundational ideas behind the Riverside Symphony, um, liberty and justice for all over the world is the vision that I'm fighting for, that I believe in, and that I believe we have the power to create if we all work together, you know. And the ways we do that, one of them is by activation. You know, like how people call them armchair quarterbacks, you know, people who like see the stuff going on but never get involved. We got a lot of those in the community. There's a lot of people who see wrong and don't say anything, don't do anything. They're just going about their business. And that's a part of the problem. Like we need to be activated. We need to be active in our communities. We need to be active in elections. We need to be active in deciding what laws get passed, what people become judges, what people become police chiefs, you know, etc. We have to activate our communities. That's step one, I believe. Uh, Step two of the Riverside Symphony is what I call Amethyst Alley. And Amethyst Alley is kind of a it's a conceptual idea for online based training app slash website wherein revolutionaries such as myself and such as you and the rest of us around the world who fight for freedom and fight for justice, where we could come together and we could share notes and we could build on ideas. We could We could draft petitions. We could work together towards our shared goal of liberty and justice for all. That's what Amethyst Alley is. So that's the second part of the Riverside Symphony. Third part is what I call Suede Boots Boulevard. Suede Boots Boulevard is boots on the ground. Like no matter what kind of war you're fighting, what kind of change you're trying to create in this world, you need boots on the ground in order to actually affect change. Like we can't just be online. It can't just be like and shares. Like you gotta go door to door sometimes. You gotta look people in the eyes. You gotta shake people's hands. You gotta come together as humans. You know what I mean? As people who believe in a cause and who are willing to put the time, energy, and effort into creating the change we need. And that is what Suede Boots Boulevard represents. It's those boots on the ground. And on top of that, it's the concept behind like when you go to boot camp, right? In the military, for training and all of that basic training. The whole point is that they equip the soldiers with everything they need to achieve their mission. Whatever they're sending them, like if it's going to war, if it's going to a country to dig wells, whatever the objective is, they train the soldiers and they give them the equipment they need. They give them the tools, the support, etc. they need to be successful in that endeavor. And I feel like we don't do that as a society. Like when you look at America, uh, our schools are like super trash. They've been that way for like since integration, basically. After integration, all the rich people put their kids in private schools and then they just trash the public curriculum. And now it's like very few people come out of high school equipped with the knowledge they need to thrive in this world. You know what I mean? Um, and so that's what Sway Blues Boulevard is about. On top of getting people out there and getting people active and coming together in the real world, not just online, but also equipping each other with the tools we need to succeed. Like bringing the potluck to the table. You know what I mean? So everybody can eat and everybody can get what they need, and we work together in that way, without having to go through the government, without having to go through all this red tape or whatever that they have for the 501c3s. Uh, because, like, truthfully, it has to be the people in order for it to like really empower the people, because everything else is diluted to an extent, like government support, they drag their feet, and there's so much you got to play with politics, like the Republicans don't want to let this pass because it'll make the Democrats look good, or the Democrats don't want to do this because it'll make the Republicans look, all that trash. And the whole time it's the people who are getting screwed over, you know what I mean, by the reality we live in. And so, like, waiting for them to fix it isn't going to work. We're going to have to do it ourselves. And that's what Sway Boots Boulevard is all about. It's us creating the changes we need, regardless of all the extra BS. It's the people over politics, period. Um, and then the final piece of the symphony is what I refer to as the crescendo. And the crescendo is basically, like, I don't know if you guys really listen to music and all of that, a symphony, but a crescendo is the high point. It's like where everything comes together. It's kind of like the climax. Um, of a symphony. And our crescendo is basically a uniting of different people, different beliefs, different ideas, different everything that can come together and work based on the idea of creating liberty and justice for all over the world. Like with nothing added on to that, just liberty and justice for all over the world. And that is the crescendo. That is the perfection. That's the note that can ring for eternity. Should we come together and make the Riverside Symphony work? All right, so that's a breakdown of what the Riverside Symphony is. Thank you for your time, and I'll let y'all on the next one.